So, welcome everybody to this new YouTube video. I'm your host, BOSSAGE. First of all, massive apologies, due to the fact I haven't done a video in quite some time. There is quite a lot of content, as you can see, on my video. On my channel, so any positive or constructive criticism is welcome. Today's video, so I would hit off by updating my military section of the channel. As you can see, I do Elite Dangerous military videos about the actual channel itself, reactions to music reaction videos. So let's begin. Right. So this image is current NATO members, and as it says, it's highlighted in blue. This is on Wikipedia. It is free to use, so I am doing so as long as you mention where you get it from. And what we're going to be talking about today in this video is the crisis that's been going on all week and is currently ongoing. The tensions between Ukraine and Russia. Now, if you followed me for some time now and have watched my videos, there's quite a lot about Russia, North Korea and China. Mainly about China, but I've always stated in them videos, I've mentioned it numerous times, that as an individual, my concerns regarding military engagements on current day events will be firstly China, then Russia a very close second, then North Korea. So I'm going to talk through a few news articles that I have gathered during the week, which do point out some interesting facts. But as I'm talking through these news articles, I'm putting my own personal spin on them. I just want you to keep in mind that if Russia did start something and they managed to rope in China and North Korea, the countries that are in blue, so obviously Canada, America, United Kingdom, and most of Europe are all NATO members. So each and every one of them have got a responsibility to do something. We'll start with this news article firstly, and do apologise if I sound a bit like congested or something. My nose is blocked. So, this news article is from the Daily Mail, and it was actually it doesn't say the date. It says the 29th on it, but it can't have been today. Anyway, so Biden deploys aircraft carrier USS Harry S. Truman in the Mediterranean under NATO control for the first time since the end of Cold War. As he tells 8,500 US troops to prepare to deploy to Eastern Europe to fend off Russia amid fears of Ukraine invasion. So, obviously, if people don't know, NATO forces at the minute, the command ship of NATO forces is HMS Prince of Wales. I do keep trying to keep track of her, because obviously if anything was to kick off and they needed to send the NATO forces, HMS Prince of Wales would be deployed to be in charge of the task group. But even though I've been working during the week, I have tried to keep track of her latest position. She's currently on shakedown around the UK, final preparations before her first appointment. So I'm just going to try and find her latest position for you guys. The last time I looked, she was south of England. Yeah, she is. She's south of England, and this data is only it's 6 hours old. Her, as far as all evidence does suggest that her first mission that was announced would be for the next 12 months supporting NATO exercises in the Arctic, Baltic and Mediterranean. Her first exercise in the role will be Cold Response 22, a Norwegian-led exercise which is designed to test her crew in this role. Later on in the year, she will train with the Turkish Naval Forces, who will take over the role from the Royal Navy in 2023. So, a little backstory: HMS Prince of Wales did take command of NATO's Maritime High Readiness Force from the French Navy on the 1st of January this year. So, I digress a little bit there. So, yeah, the USS Harry S. Truman has been placed under NATO command. The Pentagon has stated that the aircraft carrier and its strike group will take part in the NATO maritime exercise in the Mediterranean Sea, which will last until the 4th of February. I'm just trying to read through all this information. So, there's loads of strategies being formulated in case things do happen. So among the strategies being considered are between 1 and 5,000 US troops being relocated to countries in the Eastern Europe, but there could be a potential to increase that number to 50,000 should the need arise. So as we're looking on this map, follow the magnifying glass. Although ironically, if I press that, it won't magnify it, makes it smaller. So you've got troops from, potentially, if things kick off, Canada, America, Spain, Portugal, France, UK, Italy, and all the rest of them supporting Ukraine. Obviously, if things do kick off, there'll be other countries that will take advantage of this, both in a negative and positive way. So negative ways which could include gaining alliances with Russia. So one of them would be China, strengthen their relationship with Russia and trying to promote their cause. I have done videos on touching on this subject before, when I've mentioned about China. And I've stated that China, which this is a known fact, they're wanting to build the same amount of aircraft carriers, toe for toe, with the United States. So they're wanting 10 aircraft carriers. And before people write in the comments, America's got more aircraft carriers. Yes, they do, but I'm talking about the super carriers, so the Joel Ford. So I have done research into this, and at one time, if things keep on schedule, and America does build a replacement for each and every one of their Nimitz class aircraft carriers, they will have, for I think it's about a year's length of time, 11 super carriers, 1 Nimitz class, and 10 Joel Ford classes of aircraft carriers. But China is wanting the 10, so they can go like toe to toe with America. And if people are thinking, well, how are they going to get the money from and that, go watch my other videos. I explain about, unlike America and other countries, helping humanitarian aid, and obviously spend money on that. China doesn't do that. So whatever everybody else is spending on humanitarian aid, they're not spending anything. That's going into China. China looks after number one. So other things, several US officials and the administration is in the final stages of identifying which military units to send to deter Russia, and they're preparing deployment orders. So, according to the Pentagon Press Secretary John Kirby, the exercise, which will begin in Monday, is something that's been planned since 2020 and is not in response to rising tensions with Russia. I call bullshit on that. That's my own personal opinion, but I call bullshit, right? Although I have stated, and it is being stated by other avenues of news reporting, Russia is playing up. Says China, says North Korea. So there is a possibility of this. But, I don't think it is. I think this is anything to do with that whatsoever. Whatsoever. It's just stupid. Really. Just having a look now. So, just carrying on. Just keep having a look trying to get some more information for you. So NATO obviously saying they welcome the carrier strike group. And if anybody's wondering what the UK have deployed, or if wondering how come HMS Queen Elizabeth haven't been deployed, she's currently in Portsmouth. She has not long returned back from her deployment that lasted from May to up to a couple of months, not months, a couple of weeks before Christmas. So she is getting just looked at over, and certain things like the deck repainted due to the intense heat that an F-35 downward thrust does against the deck. So with them saying about that the USS Harry S. Truman carrier and its 5 accompanying ships is also due to start its own massive naval exercise involving 140 warships and more than 60 aircraft. But, I mean, if you're watching this video, obviously you have a great interest in all this. But, as we know, Putin is only in power because the Russian people are scared of voting for anybody else. So on Monday, President Biden ordered 8,500 US-based troops to stand ready to deploy to Eastern Europe. It's so. This is interesting for you. Just found this in this article. So this sort of this is like as up to date as I can get at the minute, right? Um, so I'll start from left to right. Blue countries are NATO. Red's Russia, and it doesn't say about yellow and green. I presume yellow's just to make Ukraine stand out, and Belarus is going to make Belarus stand out. So you've got Russia staged live fire war games 150 miles off Southwest Island in February. For me, that's a bit close to comfort. I'm sure that we'll have warships monitoring them. The UK has got 10,000 mainly USAF personnel are stationed in the UK. They're from America. There's 35,000 US troops stationed in Germany. 12,500 stationed in Italy. 50,000 could be deployed in Lithuania, Estonia and Latvia. And then we'll flip over to the Russian side of things. Russian Black Fleet based in Sevastopol. You'll have to pardon the pronunciation if I've got it wrong. 33,000 troops have illegally occupied Crimea since 2014. there's 100,000 along the Ukrainian border, and there's 13,000 Russian troops in Belarus ready to take part in exercises on the 10th of February. Then obviously you've got the 9,000 here, 5,000 there, 2,000 there, 4,000 there, and another 4,000 there. So really, this also gives a good indication of like what would happen Paris. So if anything did kick off with Russia, the Russian Black Fleet would have tremendous I think of the word opposition, because you've got the Italian Navy, the Spanish Navy, and the French Navy presumably have a naval port in the south of France. So that would be in place. The UK, obviously the Royal Navy, one of the best navies in the world, is ready as well. But flip back to that picture for you. So there is a lot going on. There is an article here, the 12th of January, but I'm more inclined to like dismiss this article because I have got a lead which I'm not going to say, but yeah, HMS Prince of Wales is off to Norway, but she's currently the south of the UK. So going further into this could be tremendous. This other article that was released, and sorry guys, I know this is a bit unprofessional, but oh yeah, so the one I've just been talking from was from the 25th of January. What I'm talking about now is the 27th of January. The 2 days old, people. China backs President Putin as top diplomat warns US that Russia's security demands must be taken seriously amid fears of war in Ukraine. So Putin, clearly madman, he strikes fear into his own people, and that's how he keeps control of Russia. China, self-centered country, is wanting to obviously gain allies, because China isn't stupid, and that's probably another reason why they're growing in both military strength and size as a country. And I mean them military islands, man-made military islands. But China's obviously thinking it, if we can get alongside Russia, we are two of the biggest countries in the East. So if we can combine forces, that is a major force if we combined. So China has great manpower but has got a far superior overall navy compared to Russia. So China is just backing Russia 110% on what Russia does. China's foreign minister has stated all parties should abandon the Cold War mentality and form a balanced, effective and sustainable European security mechanism through negotiation. I do not take serious anything that comes out of China's mouth. They talk peace, but they walk war. Everything they do, though, is aggressive by nature. Really. They keep saying about peace and that, but their actions building military artificial islands. If they were just built, and I've gone through this on other videos, if they were just building islands because they need room to expand their economy, fine. If they were just normal runways, I mean, yeah, that could be used as military, but no, that's another airport that is used for commercial use, but they're not. So, amongst some of Putin's concerns, in a nod to Moscow's concerns about the expansion of the NATO alliance, regional security cannot be guaranteed by strengthening or even expanding military blocs. So that's from China's foreign minister. But presumably, China and Russia have been given the options to become NATO members. So I've just found out the three criteria a country needs to uphold and follow in order to become NATO member. First of all, a functioning democratic political system based on a market economy, fair treatment of minority populations, a commitment to resolve conflicts peacefully, the ability and willingness to make a military contribution to NATO operations, and a committee to democratic civil-military relations. So that is what's required. So obviously, by saying what they say and do what they do, neither one of these. So obviously, for example, China, they're not like helping Taiwan. They're trying to control Taiwan, take it over. Same as Russia with Crimea and Ukraine. I think I've talked enough about this. I have been trying to get more information, but due to work and work commitments, really, I haven't been on the computer as much as I'd like. So, we're going to move on to China now. It's going to be like a double-sided video. So, China launches 39 aircraft into Taiwan's airspace. In Taiwan's air defense zone. And this is only one day after the United States and Japan have put on a show of naval force in the Philippine Sea. So, China flew 39 warplanes toward Taiwan in its largest start of the new year. Which, yeah, that is bad. But I think the Daily Mail is trying to... It is a massive issue, but they're trying to blow it even further into an even more bigger issue. Because it's the largest party of the new year. Right, we're only 29 days into 2022. Taiwan obviously scrambled its jets in response. The formation Sunday night included 24 J-16 fighter jets, 10 J-10, and other support aircraft and electronic warfare aircraft. The launch came same day as US Navy sailed 2 aircraft carriers and 2 amphibious assault ships alongside allies in the Philippine Sea. Taiwan, just a bit of history, and China split during the Civil War in 1949, but China claims the island as its own territory. But I'll show you a picture of the 10 war US Navy ships that were deployed. So, obviously the 2 warships up front are Nimitz-class aircraft carriers. You've got the USS Carl Vinson and the USS Abraham Lincoln. And because China is wanting like what they're calling a one China, which is basically stupid. But I mean, if I saw that coming towards me, the amount of aircraft, even just one Nimitz-class aircraft can carry. But you've got 2 amphibious assault ships there. I don't know what they are. This article doesn't say. Um, but even them amphibious assault ships, some of them even have F-35s on. So that is really... But if we take into consideration, a long while after World War II, you'd only get 1 aircraft carrier being deployed, and its carrier strike group. Even with America having so many, you have 1 deployed. Now, it's becoming... I'm seeing more and more where 2 aircraft carriers. And even when HMS Queen Elizabeth deployed, she was met up by other aircraft carriers from other nations, including the US, Japan, I believe India sent theirs as well. It really is now, we live in a society where aircraft carriers are not sent alone. They're just They're not, and I mean in respect of not alone as a single aircraft carrier, an entire carrier strike group. I mean about multiple. So presumably the carrier strike group's getting bigger because obviously you're not going to keep this the same number of defence ships. What I mean is, HMS Queen Elizabeth had 2 frigates and 2 Type 45 destroyers sent with her, and then she had her allies just to strengthen it up. But if she would set sail with HMS Prince of Wales, presumably they would send, well, I would reckon all the Type 45 destroyers, so all 6 of them, or at very minimum 4, so you'd have, instead of 2, you'd have 4 because you've got double the amount of aircraft carriers, and then 4 Type 23 frigates. Also, you'd have twice as many replenishment ships, because if you kept it with the same amount of replenishment / support ships, your resources would go down twice as quick, and that ship would be under high demand to replenish each ship. In other news, um, in so yeah, in other news, um, which I was over the moon at, we have, well, I say we, um, HMS Duncan is now, um, active. She has finished being repaired. Um, so we have got 4 now, Type 45 destroyers ready, which is amazing. Yeah, I hope everybody liked that video. I'm sorry if it seemed a bit slow or rushed or that. But, I just want to get out new content as far as I can. Mainly because you guys haven't had any new content for ages. But I hope you enjoyed that. And, I'll see you next time. Please don't forget to comment, like, and subscribe. It means the world to me. And we'll leave it there. Thank you.